Hi, Dustin West here. We're going to work on making a little backpacking stove that you can pack in on your pack to kind of help save some space and do your own little backwoods hunts. It packs away nicely. Here it is inside of the tins. I just got those Coleman Max series. It's a set of 4 pots at Walmart that stack inside each other. They're like 25 bucks. It's a pretty nice deal. Once everything's put inside here, it's all packs away into a nice little stove. As you can see, here's the first pot. The second pot's right below it. I just kind of pull it off a little bit. But then inside here is where the stove itself sits, so you can pack the entire thing in and not have to worry. I have a windsock shield here that's just made out of any large can of like tuna or chicken. You just got to cut it out and then kind of form it a little bit around the outside layer. I like to pack a few extra paper towels inside there so they stay dry and I have something to kind of start a fire with. But here's the main unit itself. It's based off the gasification theory on wood, so it's pretty efficient dual stage burning deal. As you can see in the inside, there's nothing really to it. It's pretty simple. It's just one can stacked inside the other with some holes drilled for different ventilation, but then again some extra paper towel and a flint stick and a normal lighter just to make things a little easier for me. But then on the inside you can see where the wood sits down in the bottom of that, and then you can see that it allows a lot of air to be pulled into the sides there. That really gets a good fire going down in the bottom. And then if you can see on the inside, there's holes right here on the inside of the can around the top ring of it, and that allows the gases that when wood burning puts off a flammable gas, and these holes here pull up heated air up through the side of it, and then it'll reignite that gas on fire, so you get more efficiency out of the same amount of wood, and it'll make your water boil a little faster, and overall it's a pretty good setup. So I'm going to show you how to make one of those today. Here's a quick list of everything you're going to need. First, you'll want just one regular quart-sized paint can. You can get it at any hardware store. I think I got mine for $2.50. Pretty cheap deal. It's nice and lightweight. As you can see the lid, you really don't need it, but I keep it around. Then this was a Progresso soup can. Just any 18.5 or 19.5 ounce soup can will work. This one had the pot top. It's no big deal, but I like the Progresso ones. They seem to stack inside here nicely. Then you're going to need a drill, and then 3 different size drill bits. I've got a 3/16, a 1/4 inch drill bit, and then a 3/8 drill bit. And then last but not least, a pair of tin snips. And that's all there really is to this project. It's just a matter of taking time. Oh, and I did forget a can opener. But other than that, it's pretty easy and self-sufficient. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to take this can, and this is the bottom of the paint can. I'm just going to take the lid, set it off to the side. But I like to take just my can opener, and you can just go around the bottom of this can and cut out the bottom ring to allow for better airflow through the stove once you get everything else ready. But it only takes a couple seconds. It's pretty easy to do. Any can opener will work. As you see, the ring comes out nice. I got a nice clean edge. You can't get cut anywhere along there. You won't have to worry about that at all. Then that's ready to go. The next step I like to do is you'll take your 3/8 inch drill bit, and then I like to go to the other, I like to find the seam and then go to the back side to start. It's just kind of wherever you want to start as a reference point. But then right along the bottom edge, I usually go up about a 1/2 inch at most. Then you gotta just drill these holes. They take a little bit, don't press real hard. You gotta kind of let the drill bit do all the work. It'll get hot and then punch its way through there. But once it goes through, you'll get a nice clean hole. Otherwise, sometimes they tend to rip through there, and then you got to start over. I've ruined a couple cans doing that, but usually about this fast is all I go with it. And any second now it'll bite through. See, that's what'll happen. It'll catch you on occasion, but if you don't go too crazy with it, you'll get a hole something like that. Then you'll have to smooth the burrs down afterwards. I just take a pair of pliers and crimp these holes down and around. And if you have a step-up drill bit for tin, it works a lot better, but I didn't need one for this. It just takes a little extra time. And then I'll go and I'll continue the whole way around this can putting dots. I like to divide it into quarters, and then quarters, and then after that quarters I divide it into eighths, and I just have about 3/8 inch holes the whole way around here to allow good airflow. And if you need a few more, just punch a few more in, but that's all I generally do. So here it is now. I've got all the holes drilled in it. Like you can see, it's not perfect, but as long as they're within about the first 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the lip, you'll be fine. And you can add more holes if you need to, but I found that 8's about good enough. I've seen it done with 12, but I've had no problems with 8. Next on the list, this can will not sit down in this paint. Will not sit down in this paint can without first taking, and I trim all these tabs down and push them inward to kind of create a spring clip holding, and then you can push the whole thing down in there and it'll sit nice and tight and it won't want to come out for you. So I just take my regular tin snips and I just take and I snip it the whole way through, and I make snips about that bigger the whole time, and I just go the entire way around the ring. And then once they're all the way in, then I just take a pair of pliers and I bend them downward and inward so that way the can be the release for them. So I'll go ahead and do the rest of that and then I'll come back. Here's the lip now. You can see I have them all bent inward, cut around. It's a little bit bigger than the size of the can, but when you go to push the can down in there, it'll make a nice snug fit and you won't have to worry about it. We'll just go ahead and set this can off to the side, and now we're going to pay attention to this can. First, I'm going to start by drilling a series of holes in the bottom of this using the 3/16 inch drill bit. I like to just stay in this first ring just to kind of give it a few extra holes for the fire to pull up some oxygen in there and stay alive. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drill another set of 8 holes here with the 1/4 inch drill bit the whole way around. And here I like to go 8 to 12. I'll probably do 12 on here just to make sure that I get good airflow. And then again, I'll do the same thing at the top of this can. I'll go ahead and drill another 12 holes 1/4 inch size around the entire ring. And then we'll... Alright, I now have the can done again. Those are just some 3/16 inch holes. I just kind of spread them around. You can put them out here if you want, but I found it's just easier to keep some down in here. Here's the 1/4 inch holes I did along the bottom. Again, I just did 8 along this bottom just to make sure that it could get a good airflow on the bottom for the fire that's actually burning in the bottom of your can. And then up here, I went ahead and I put a few more. I divided it in 8, and then I divided each one of those quarters into 2 extra pieces, so our 8ths into 2 extra. So I got quite a few holes here. I think there's 12 or so holes. But this way, it'll just allow for a little bit more extra airflow at the top of the can, and it'll allow for better ignition of those gases that are going to be coming up out of this can. Now we're ready to press the 2 cans together. I've got the holes in the top, the holes in the bottom in here, then I got the big holes down here, and I have this can. For this part, all we're going to do, and it's going to take a little bit of effort, you just got to kind of get your can started, and you just got to push it down in there so it sits down in there nice and snug. Again, since you're bending these out of the way, it takes a little bit of force, and I don't know, I'm trying to keep it in the camera view, so I don't know how well this is going to show up for you. Let me adjust it a little bit, there we go. But all I do is I usually start with one side. I use the edge of the can to kind of push all these tabs in and downward a little more than what I could get with the pliers. And they're almost there. There we go. Now it'll be ready to go in. Now, I just simply, I'm going to rotate the camera so I can put a little extra pressure on it. Now, I'm just going to line everything up in the center, and I'm going to push it down nice and evenly. Oh, one side is still slipping a little. Okay. As you can see, they're kind of a little pushed down inward more so that it'll actually, the can will want to slide down in there now. And I'm just going to push the can, it's seated in there, and I'm just going to push this down until these lock into the can like so. And now it's fully set up and ready to go. This one, I grabbed the wrong size paint can, so I'll keep it here. But now, as you can see, everything's ready to go. And now we'll go outside and we'll give our new burner a unit, our new unit a test. But then you'll see on the bottom you got this, and then you got that down there so that it can pull in the air. And that's really all there is to one of these stoves. But now we will go ahead and give it a shot outside with some wood and see what it can do. We'll try and boil a cup of water here in hopefully about 5 minutes. Thanks. Hi, this is Dustin here. We're going to go ahead and give that new stove a try. I'm just going to go ahead and use my old one just for cleanliness sakes. We're going to go ahead and try and boil roughly 24 ounces of water here just to show you about how quick it'll do it. For this test, I'm just using some wood chips that I have laying around the house. Normally I would fill it up with sticks, but all you do is you just put it down here in the bottom of this chamber. As you can see, I'm just putting some down in there. It's not a whole bunch, but I'm going to fill it about halfway just for demonstration's sake. It'll burn pretty good. The one thing I will warn you, this gets extremely hot once you go ahead and start lighting it. I highly recommend to not touch it. But this again was, I just grabbed this piece of, this was actually a can of, or the canned chicken. And I cut the top off, and then I cut the sides off on one end, and then I just kind of created a vent to act as a windshield, and then I can set my pot up here on it once I get the fire going, and then we will see what happens. But I'm just going to go ahead and get this fire started real quick, and we'll see how long it takes to go. But it usually doesn't take too long for the gasification to start once you can actually get the wood chips on fire themselves. I found that it only takes me a few minutes here to get this going. Should have pretty close to some of the chips lit on fire now. A lot of these stoves take 4 to 5 minutes to heat up and get the gas going, but with this one I've had no issues getting it burning in, or get the gases burning in probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. It's just of actual wood burning. Once the wood burns, then you're okay, but it's pretty tough sometimes to get the wood going, depending on the day and how much it wants to cooperate. But I got some of the chips lit now. I'm going to keep feeding a little bit of extra paper towel in here. I just got it around, and it's gonna make things easier if we get a better ignition faster, just for demonstration's sake. And I do have a little bit of a breeze. It's actually getting ready to storm here, and that's already pretty hot. So now that we have that going, I'll try and get a good picture of it actually lighting the gases on fire once everything starts burning a little quicker here. But now it's heating up right now, so we'll go ahead and we'll put the can on here, and we'll see just how long it takes us to do this. Right now we're at 2 minutes and 50 seconds into it, so the wood's just started on fire. Now we'll go ahead and watch and see how long it takes for this to boil. But right now what it's doing is air's being drawn in through the bottom here, and it's feeding the fire from beneath, and then as it's going up, it's pulling hot air up the side of the can into that second layer, and then it's going to start pulling the hot air. Well, we've already got the gasification going on. I'm going to try and move the camera a little and see if I can't show you what's going on with the wood gases actually reigniting. If you see down in there, you can kind of see the flame curling off from the side of the can. That's actually the wood gases themselves reigniting and burning a little more efficiently. I have a little bit of the paper towel in the way, but it's gonna pretty soon all 4 of those, or all 12 of those flues are gonna start doing that same thing for you. You can kind of see how that fire's curling around those holes and the gas is reigniting there. And that's pretty much the beauty of this thing, is you'll have hardly any. It takes a lot less fuel to boil the water, so we'll go ahead and see just how long it takes to do this. I haven't officially timed a test, so it'll be